This is ScreenView with Peter Van, Aimee Morgan, and John Denny. Fan us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at ScreenView Show, and join in on the conversation on Google+.
Hello and welcome to ScreenView, episode 18. We are back and stuffed, and we are alive and everything, and Aimee's here, and John's here, the whole gang's back. We felt lost without you, Aimee.
Yes.
We know you went to New York to be on Castle.
Yeah. Did you see that?
You heard about that, huh?
Did you see that?
I didn't see it, but I had people telling me, "Hey, you were on Castle." I was like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah,
I was like half paying attention, and all I heard was Aimee Morgan, and I was like, I know that name.
Where's that name from? It's so familiar.
Awesome!
So-
I'm a celebrity. Woohoo!
Yeah, so that's why we were on a bit of a hiatus, because Aimee went to New York to be on a television show.
You feel right?
Nathan Fillion is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty fun show. Like, you know, it's definitely one that you don't have to think about or anything, but it's just fun because he makes it fun. So, yeah. So with the 2 weeks that we have been, we've been off for 2 weeks due to scheduling difficulties and life difficulties and such.
It's just life. And Murphy.
Yeah, and Murphy and more. And
Mosquito.
I wanted to ask you guys if you knew what enewsi.com was.
I learned it once, but I forgot.
Yeah, I kind of know vaguely what it is. But,
Yes. Yeah. So enewsi.com, Entertainment News International, is one of the sites that's part of the same network as tformers.com, and which is the RFC is the official radio show for. And so yeah, fun times. We have partnered with enewsi.com to be their official show for their website. We will be, posting every week there. So if you are on enewsi.com, you found us through there, welcome. If not, then go to enewsi. They have movie news, television news, all types of news that you will find fun and enjoyable.
It's a good site. It's the only personal site that I have bookmarked on my computer.
Nice. That says a lot.
Yeah, that does. It's a huge thing. All right, so just a quick couple of things we have to run through. Streaming has become a craziness. Comcast announced their Xfinity Stream Picks, which is available for free on their Blast Plus, Blast Extra TV, and most triple play packages. If you don't have any of these and you do have Xfinity, you can pay $5 and you will get the streaming. It is available on their iOS devices, on the computer, and will be coming soon to Android and Xbox 360. So
Nice. They're trying to keep up with the whole Netflix thing, huh?
yeah, they don't have a lot of stuff though.
Yeah, it's a very poor list of things that they
poor
offer.
list. Yeah, I mean, right now they have like eight shows from NBC.
Well, I mean, the shows are one
ABC.
thing, but the movies are so like all over the place.
They're quite
that
old.
they're offering.
Yeah, they're mostly old. So
wow.
Analyze that: Brokeback Mountain, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Ocean's 11.
Oh, this is the only list that they have right here in the show notes.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it launched last week, so hopefully
That's
they
not
add some
even
new
a
stuff.
skeleton. That's like an amoeba.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. It's like an amoeba. That's the
Well,
show,
I mean,
that would be the show
if
this week.
If it's Xfinity, which is Comcast, and Comcast owns NBC or vice versa,
Yeah.
Why would not all of the NBC shows be available for streaming?
I don't know.
Doesn't that make sense to do that?
It would
They're
make
working
sense.
through the licensing.
You would think that would happen, but
Yeah, like
know-
what if I wanted to watch Community?
some things just don't make sense.
Yep.
Such as life.
Welcome to the internet.
Yeah, welcome to the internet. So, on to, we're going to quickly run through some television. Hey, John, you should be really happy about this. Community will be back on March 15th.
Everybody should watch it.
Everybody should watch it, including us, too, as well.
Especially if you have a, what do they call those things?
The Nielsen box.
Nielsen box.
We're doing a plea, just like Oprah did, told you to turn on the Nielsen box to her channel. If you have a Nielsen box, turn to her channel. If you have a Nielsen box, turn to Community. Forget about Oprah.
Yeah, Oprah does not need more money.
No, she doesn't.
I need
more
I was just
episodes
going to say,
Community.
I thought that she actually, I think she watches Community.
Yeah, but she like made a plea maybe like recently because her Oprah Winfrey network is doing awful in ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was like,
Part of that might be the fact that not everybody can actually get it. That's why.
exactly. So, but she was saying, she's like, oh, our ratings are so abysmal. Why don't we just cheat the system? If you have a Nielsen box, please turn it on own and just walk away. You don't even have to watch it. We just want money.
Wow.
So instead of doing that, go to NBC, 8 o'clock p.m. every Thursday, Community. So that will, interestingly enough, they're moving Parks and Recreation off the schedule. And then once Up All Night ends its season, they will put Parks and Rec back. So,
Yes.
oh yeah, John and I were talking about this a little earlier about like The Walking Dead, maybe about something about this guy named the Governor. They cast him. He will be played by David Morrissey.
I have no idea who that guy is.
I don't know.
I have no idea it is either.
David Morrissey.
Cool.
He's been in a bunch of British stuff,
So
from what I looked up.
He's crazy British,
Yeah.
meaning that he knows everything.
I feel like, I don't know how in depth we're going to talk about Walking Dead, but we were talking about this like Peter said, and I feel like they could have made a turn in the most recent episode and had a certain character who's still alive in the show, but not in the comics. Have him turn around and become the governor.
That would be a good twist.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, it's a little different, and you can understand, like, if you watch the last episode, that there was a certain point where if you had the same brain, yes, you could definitely have seen it going in that direction, but Rick is too nice of a guy, so what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Kill Rick. That's all. That's all you have to do. Kill Rick. Apparently he's a very British guy. He's a filmmaker, he's an actor, he's pretty much everything. He's I
don't know if I can see this guy as the governor, honestly. I'm looking at a picture of him right now and going, he just looks,
He looks so
he's not rough enough. He looks so nice, exactly. I mean, the governor, he's got this twisted, It's just,
Yes.
yeah.
Peter hasn't read it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, he hasn't read it yet. Bummer.
What?
Gotta read it.
well, he looks
Yes.
crazy.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Peter, you have to read the comic books and get to the part of the governor, because it gets very crazy very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do.
I have never been able to blow through a comic book like I can with The Walking Dead.
Yes.
It hooks you in that fast.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely get to it, for sure. You guys have probably seen some of these commercials. Awake. It's a new NBC show about a dad who lost his wife or son. It depends on which part of the world he wakes up on. Like one side, his wife dies in a car accident. One side, his son dies in a car accident, and he just kind of freaks out and he goes crazy.
Yeah.
What?
But, yep.
What?
What? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So this guy, he gets into a car accident. And in the one world, his son dies in the car accident. And then in another world, his wife dies in the car accident. So he's able to spend time with both of them individually, just not together.
What is the real world?
Nobody knows. That's
Well,
what you're supposed to find.
he goes to sleep, and then instead of waking up, he flips over to the next. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. You're not
Wasn't
exactly sure.
there a movie called Awake where people were waking up in the middle of surgery? With what the heck is her name? Jessica Alba.
Oh, are you calling the Eye?
No. It was.
Okay.
I think it was called Awake, and her boyfriend woke
You're
up
right.
in the. Yeah.
You're right.
I kept hearing I haven't actually seen the commercials for Awake, but I keep hearing them say Awake on TV, and I'm like, why are they talking about that movie?
Yeah. It's so
And the
old.
guy that plays Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter is supposed to be the main guy, right?
Yeah, the bad guy from The Patriot.
And that too, yeah.
Yeah.
That's him.
For you non-Harry Potter freaks.
Long blonde hair and
Yeah, except for
Harry
now,
Potter.
he's all nice and short hair and all kept and stuff like that.
Or
I
Peter,
like
you
it.
might know him from the
Yeah.
Tuxedo.
Tuxedo. Yeah, the tuxedo. I know, totally know that.
Totally. The one that's not on here yet that will be coming back soon is Touch.
Yeah, Touch. I think they actually moved it up from the 25th to like the 18th, I believe.
Yeah, it was on the 18th, yeah.
Why, did something get canceled?
No, they canceled. They're going to cancel another show, I think. I think they're canceling The Finder. It's actually not doing very well at all, so they're canceling it.
Wow, there's a shock.
Yeah. So the Awake debuts tonight as of this recording, so March 1st. And then The Missing, with Ashley Judd, which is pretty much The Taken with Chipmunk face, on March 15th, which is next Thursday.
It's just Taken.
It's just Taken with Ashley Judd.
It's just Taken. We've just stolen it.
No, it's not The Taken, Peter. I didn't have hard to tell you in our text message.
I'm sorry.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Taken.
The Taken.
Whatever. Who cares? Everybody understands what I'm saying. Taken. The Taken.
Mostly.
Anyway, right.
Sorry, we're derailing you.
Yeah, exactly. Stop it. Stop it. No. On to the movies. Act of Valor hit #1 this week. Tyler Perry's Good Deeds hit #2. Journey.
You skipped over a very important piece of information there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Archer gets season 4.
Yes. Very important.
Another 13 episode season, which is like, I'm actually glad they do that because FX actually a lot of cable series, they pull some really stupid crap. They're like, let's get a 19 episode season and then we'll break it up into 2 seasons. So it'll be like 10 episodes one season, 8 episodes another, and it was stupid. So 13 episodes. I'm talking about Rescue Me, I'm talking about The Shield, I'm talking about what is that other show? Burn Notice. I'm talking about Psych does that. See, I just keep going. Okay, now we can go back to my non-derailment stage. The movies. Act of Valor was #1 this weekend, which I guess it did all right. It made its money back already. It already doubled its money, so that's a win for the United States Department of Defense. Tyler Perry's Good Deeds #2, Journey to the Mysterious Island #3, Safe House #4, The Vow, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance #6, This Means War #7, Wanderlust #8, Gone #9, and #10 is The Secret World of Arrietty.
Ghost Rider has, from this point now to what the original Ghost Rider movie made, it's down $200 million.
Ouch.
Ouch. Yeah, that's
unbelievable.
Everybody knew that it was terrible. They were like, "Oh
yeah,
my
god!"
Like,
if you were not an idiot, you knew that the first one wasn't going to be all that great either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
true. But you just wanted to see him turn into the skeleton. That's really what you went for. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe
you wanted to at least give it a chance. You know.
Maybe even Mendes is worth $200 million to some people.
Ouch.
Probably. I mean, come on. It's even Mendes. It'll make it. So coming out this week, kind of light, Dr. Seuss's The Lorax. Aimee, did you ever read The Lorax? The story of The Lorax?
I believe I did, but I can't recall what it was about.
Okay, because John
DeVito.
Yeah.
Jim, we have no idea what this is.
I read a lot of Dr. Seuss, but, you know, I haven't read it for a while. I mean, I do have some Dr. Seuss here for the kids, but I don't think the Lorax was one of them.
Yeah, I guess we're going to that. I guess they're just dipping into the very like obscure Dr. Seuss realm books. I guess the ones that are, you know,
the ones that have a plot and a beginning and a middle and an end.
Yeah.
I mean,
if they start doing green eggs and ham, that's going to be really interesting.
That's what I said.
We were talking about that in the pre-show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like,
wow.
I was saying how it would be awesome, but gross.
And I was saying that there's no way they could do a movie of Hop on Pop.
Oh, cute.
But apparently
they'll find something, I'm thinking. Yeah. I wouldn't put it past Hollywood to try and attempt that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any of those. If they're not doing it now, they're at least considering in the future. Maybe we'll do this. We can get a good writer to write a good script.
Yeah, okay. But apparently it's doing well with critics so far, 76% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kids movie. Kids will bring their parents to go see it. So,
probably, you know, heartfelt. And it's Danny DeVito. You got to go watch it because Danny DeVito's in it. according to Danny DeVito. Project X is also coming out, which apparently is a crapper. But it is a Todd Phillips produced movie who did The Hangover. So, I don't know. The commercials don't look very appealing at all. So,
No.
Fun times. All right.
I heard it was, imagine if The Hangover was mixed with Cloverfield.
Oh, great. all I remember in the commercials is when the guy like drops a car in the fountain or something.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
That's all pretty much I remember. I didn't think it was a comedy though. I thought it was just like another one of those like. I thought it was. What was that movie that just came out? I had it.
The Exorcism one?
No, the Chronicle, which dropped out of the top 10 already. I was like another one of these. It's kind of crazy.
It is. It's a found footage movie.
Yeah, but it's a comedy instead. It's just like okay, whatever.
That's funny about it.
Yeah. All right, so we're actually going to get into the most important part of what we're talking about is the Avengers trailer #2.
Oh yeah. I want to see that.
so we'll go around. John, what did you think of the Avengers trailer?
I had goosebumps. Definitely. I mean, you still don't really. I'm curious to see if there's more than just Loki as the villain. That's all they really show so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you don't want to know too much just from the trailer. So, I mean, I was hooked from day one, so it doesn't really matter what I think because I'm gonna go see it anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't have to be convinced. They could have put anything in the trailer, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna go see it.
All right. What about you, Aimee? Are you as psyched as John is from day one?
I am. That last 10 seconds seals the deal for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. The last 10 seconds are for sure the catch-all. So for sure.
Yeah. If I was wondering what big bad are they going to be going up against? Yeah, I'm totally for it now.
Awesome.
If I had any worries at this point, I'm going, okay, cool, bring it.
Speaking of bring it, Tom Cruise is going to have some fun with Top Gun 2. They hired a scribe, Peter Craig, who wrote The Town, which is, if you don't know, was that Ben Affleck movie? I think like last year, a couple years ago.
Couple years ago.
So he's going to be writing that. So Top Gun 2, look for that maybe next year or a couple of years.
Was that an eye roll that I saw there, John?
I just like Top Gun 1 was like a okay movie to begin with. You know what I mean? Like right now, it's like a cult type movie, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. I don't. Where's the story going to go? The whole point of the movie was he was like a hotshot. It was never going to, and he saved the base against Russian. It was like the whole movie kind of didn't make any sense.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Tom Cruise will be back, but he'll be the flight instructor, and he'll be the guy. He's like, I know you. You're the guy who buzzes the control tower. You won't do that on my watch, and then he does it, and then that guy saves the base from the Russians and stuff, Yeah,
but it's not gonna be the Russians, obviously, right? I don't understand. I don't understand.
I don't know if I like the idea of Tom Cruise being the instructor this time around.
No, it was just a joke. I just made that up.
Okay, all right, you're just making it up. Okay.
I just made that up.
I was going to say, that kind of sounds a little lame, actually.
Yeah.
You don't go to Top Gun to see Tom Cruise as just a little piddly teacher.
Tom Cruise is being old. Unless he dresses up in a fat suit or like in a rubber hairy suit.
A bald mask.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And dances around.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So we all sound equally happy about Top Gun 2, which is nothing. No feeling whatsoever. So moving on to the Oscars were this weekend. I don't know if you guys have heard of this thing called the Oscars, but
It might be a little something.
In passing, I've heard it.
In passing, it's a very small little like a niche thing. Not a lot of people know about it. But it did occur this weekend. Apparently, it was a bore fest. John, did you watch the whole thing?
Yes.
Oh wow! Tell us about it. Tell us how much you liked it, including the blackface.
The what?
Apparently, Billy Crystal was in blackface for Sammy Davis Jr.
That was Billy Crystal?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Apparently,
I was like, who did they get to play Sammy Davis Jr.?
It's a big controversy, apparently. Blackface.
Billy Crystal did a really good job, I thought, as a host.
Okay.
It seemed like he was still right on. I mean, his jokes weren't all killers, as far as the whole studio audience wasn't laughing out loud all the time, but he had some good jokes. The show as a whole is like, it just even though they seem to kind of move things along.
Yeah, it was still a 3.5 hour show.
There were points. It was a 3 hour show. They started at 8:30, ended at. They started at 8:30, ended at 11:30.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's certain points in the show where they get these guys who come up on stage, and it's like, as soon as there's a pause in their acceptance speech, it's like, okay, move on, get off the stage. If you don't know what you're gonna say, keep it moving.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they just let these guys try to I didn't expect this. Well, all right, get off the stage then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And it's like, I won for sound editing, and that's different from sound mixing somehow.
Right.
Like I said before, I think that they can do away with a lot of that and just make it, just have the big, 5 or 6 Oscars that everyone really wants to see given out.
Mm-hmm.
And then build a show around that. You know what I mean? It seems superfluous.
Mm-hmm. No, you can use that word. Go for it.
It's too much. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then all the BS that they have beforehand, where it's like, oh, I'm Robin Roberts, and I'm going to ask you stupid questions. You know what I mean? And I'm going to ask you stupid questions. She asked Rooney Mara if the Oscars were like her Super Bowl because her dad owns the New York Giants.
What?
And she was like, wow. She was like, that doesn't make any sense at all.
She's like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah. That's a stupid question.
She's like, what does that mean? I don't get it.
They do those lead up, and it's like, oh, who are you wearing? I'm wearing this person. Oh, wow. But then, they immediately cooled it off when the first joke that Billy Crystal said was, welcome to the Oscars, where you watch millionaires kill other millionaires, locals, and statues.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. Very awesome. Very good. Very good.
So it's like, it alleviates all that stupid stuff where it's like, okay, at least they're not taking it too seriously. But then you get up there and it's like, it's a big deal if you're the best supporting actor, or actress, or whatever, and you win your Oscar, it's a big deal. But for the other people, good for you, but get your Oscar the night beforehand. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, very interesting. But the big winners by film were Hugo and The Artist, followed by they were tied actually.
You know what? I was just telling my wife that if I was in charge of the Oscars, if your movie comes out the last week of December, then you're not eligible.
Right. Well, they're purposely doing it, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like that's like the movie The Iron Lady came out on December 31st.
Mm-hmm.
That's crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that's like, oh, we got it in at 11:59. It's still eligible. It's like, no.
That's Harvey Weinstein for you. He'll figure it out.
Right, exactly.
Well, then you don't. You know that if this lasted for another year, that they wouldn't have got that. It would have been somebody else. It knee-jerk reaction is the last thing that they saw for the year.
Right. Well, I mean, they would have had to put it out like at the very end, like at the end of December, but still enough time where people watch it and they're like, oh, she wasn't really that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
where people actually get an opinion about it.
They're like, quick, throw it out there so they don't have time to react. They don't have time to reflect.
Plus, it wasn't even put in a wide release,
Right.
I don't think. So it's like, people don't get to see it. And the people who did see it, didn't see it before the end of the year, so they think it came out in the new year. And they're like, what the hell's going on? You know what I mean? The whole thing just rings phony to me for, if you're going to have... The best picture shouldn't necessarily be the most money-making picture.
Right, and it
definitely
wasn't.
It should be a movie that people had heard of and watched.
Yeah, this year specifically, a lot of them, like obviously The Artist won Best Picture, but a lot of them specifically, like Tree of Life, Midnight in Paris, The Descendants.
And look, I want to see Midnight in Paris now. I want to see The Artist now because they actually, from what I saw, they look like pretty decent movies. But I shouldn't be getting that feeling after the Oscars.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I should be interested and want to see these movies before the Oscars even exists.
Right. Yeah, they should be. I want to watch this movie because it looks good. But those you can't. You don't even have a chance. They do commercials for them, but you're like, I don't know. I've never seen this movie before. So, yeah, I mean, Meryl Streep obviously won for the Iron Lady. John Dujardin. I apologize.
John
Dujardin from the Artiste.
The
Artiste. Won for Best Actor, and then he also blatantly dropped the F-bomb. On the
was that him?
Yeah,
wow.
he was screaming in French, and then he just right afterwards he dropped the F-bomb.
Somebody else dropped the F-bomb, but it was like
Did it
one of
get
those
through?
no, but it was one of those like minor Oscars.
Oh yeah, John Dujardin definitely dropped the F-bomb, and it was blatant. And it was funny because they asked him later. They're like, "Did you drop the F-bomb afterwards?" And they're like, "Oh, first because he apparently he doesn't speak English all that well, so he was like." Oh, so I said this, and I said in French it was amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, so did you drop the F-bomb? And then the lady translated to him, and he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, yeah, I totally did that. No problem. It was pretty funny.
I'll do it again right here. Bah.
Yeah, exactly. For Best Director was, I don't even want to try this.
Michael Hazanavicius.
There you go.
Sure.
For the Artiste.
Nice.
Best Original Screenplay was Woody Allen, so he definitely got the one that I'm sure he was happy to get.
Didn't show up. He doesn't care.
He doesn't. He never shows up. He never. That's his.
No,
that's
he doesn't
his
show up to the Oscars.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter to him. So I mean, the fact that he was nominated and won, I don't think even registered to him.
He never.
Yeah.
That's his thing. He never shows up to any of these award shows, right?
Mm-mm.
He's always been like that.
Well, he's sort of like, I don't want to say he's blacklisted, but he's still popular and all that stuff. But I don't think that to be seen in public like that is what he wants,
Right.
because of the whole thing with his, Mia Farrow and their adopted daughter that is now his wife.
The daughter-wife thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, supporting actor was Christopher Plummer for The Beginners, which now makes him the oldest supporting, the winner of the supporting actor ever.
Hold on, real quick. You skipped over a dad. You skipped over a dad's
Adopt-
screenplay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Screenplay,
Yeah,
okay.
The Descendants. Alexander Payne won for The Descendants.
Nat Faxon and Jim Rash. Jim Rash is the dean on Community,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
and Nat Faxon is an actor in a bunch of different movies, and I didn't realize it until they were both on stage.
Really?
He was one thing I recognized him was Beer Fest.
Oh, nice. Was he like one of
He
the main guys in Beer Fest?
He was one of the Germans. No, he was one of the Germans.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was just, it's funny that at the Oscars you get the idea that these people are like all behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But these guys go up on stage, like, I had no idea who Alexander Payne was. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
No.
But as soon as I saw the other two people, I was like, oh, really? That's them?
Yeah, oh my God. Nat Faxon is, he was in Orange County, Walk Hard, Beer Fest. He was in Reno 911, apparently. That's like pretty cool too. He did a couple.
Wow.
Yeah. So the only one who actually didn't go around who's like a legit writer and director is Alexander Payne, right? The other guys are not. I mean, I don't mean not legit, but
Are they like a team, or is that the only time that they've worked together? Do you know?
That I don't know.
I'm just curious. That's all.
I'm not sure exactly. So, let's see here. Supporting actor Christopher Plummer said that before. Octavia Spencer won for The Help for the supporting actress. So yeah, Weinstein Company won with 8. So they seem to be a powerhouse because last year they put out The King's Speech. So they're doing pretty well for themselves since they left Miramax.
That's because Harvey Weinstein is a cheater at the Oscars.
It's crazy.
Do you know what he does, right?
He releases the films at 11:59.
No.
That's what I thought what he was getting at.
Before, like when they announce who's nominated for the Oscars, if a Weinstein movie is up, and odds are it probably will be, he goes around and like starts putting out bad press about the other movies that are nominated.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, so it creates these like rumors around that. The biggest one was in 1990. For some reason I know all this, but in 1998, or maybe that was the year it was released. But the Saving Private Ryan was nominated for Best Picture, along with Shakespeare in Love, which was a Weinstein picture. So Harvey Weinstein started bad-mouthing Saving Private Ryan and saying like it's not even factually, it's not factual, it's not accurate, blah 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 blah. It's so long, it's so gruesome. How could this be nominated? And it's like,
wow.
Yeah,
wow,
and every year they're like, you can't do that. You can't give your movie good press so it wins a Best Picture Oscar. So like start creating all these rules, and every year he finds like a new way around it.
A new loophole. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Wow. So he plays dirty.
Yeah. So
yeah. It's really funny.
If you go back to like when the Weinstein Company first came around and how many Oscars that for Best Picture that company has won, every one of those you could be sure it's because they were bad mouthing the other movies.
Yeah, and I think there's like a big practice that occurred recently. They just started that. They actually just banned it this year, but they would have private screenings of stuff for the people who are part of the Academy. They would be like, oh, come and check out this movie. This movie's great. Come and check out in my private screening place for free. And it kind of like sways their opinion, kind of thing. So they definitely changed that this year, but that was definitely a little thing. It's kind of like actually the Academy is like the presidential race for movies. In like LA areas and stuff, they just throw out huge like campaigns and stuff like that for the movies to win Oscars. So definitely crazy. That's interesting. I actually didn't know Harvey Weinstein did that. So definitely interesting.
Yeah. So if you have time, just look it up one day on the internet, and you'll see. Yeah,
there's actually
plays dirty.
Yeah, there's an article on, actually on therap.com which talks about him bashing Saving Private Ryan versus Shakespeare in Love. So definitely interesting to see. All right, so we have hit this pivotal moment, you guys, to talk about a film that was snubbed, which some people were kind of surprised about, some people weren't. The movie Drive with Ryan Gosling, Albert Brooks. That movie was completely snubbed. So we actually decided that, hey, why don't we turn this into like a review show where we can talk about, one of the snub movies at least. So we all saw it. It's in case you don't know, it's about an unnamed person played by Ryan Gosling. He is a driver. He's pretty much like a subdued version of the Transporter, I guess, if you've ever seen the mass release. This movie is obviously a completely different film than the Transporter, but, he's that kind of guy. He does driving jobs. He doesn't really like to
He's a lone wolf.
Yeah, he's a lone wolf kind of guy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we don't even know what his name is at the very end. I thought, what is his name? The driver?
Yeah, you actually don't know until, actually, it was actually until the end that I was like, oh yeah, they never said his name. That's right.
That was what was great, is that you still liked the movie even though you had no idea what his name was. It was great.
Yeah, and it's definitely this film was praised a lot for the fact that the way it was shot and the pacing and everything, it was very similar to like, you know, these simpler times, the 80s, and even like down to the music and down to the title and stuff like that. It was very cool. It actually was the same like as that I can think of, like Grand Theft Auto Vice City. There's like that same purple, like very neonish and like that. So, all right. So let's go around the table or down the line, I guess. If you're watching the video, it's down the line. Aimee, what did you think of Drive?
I liked it. At first it had that like 80s corny feel, like, okay, the music was, you know, and the way that they were acting, and or not the acting, but like just the whole feel of it. But like once you get to a certain point in it, it's like, oh my gosh, did that just happen? It was really well paced. They just kept moving it right along. It was really good. The guy gets in trouble. He tries to help out somebody else, and he was, you know, basically betrayed, and it was all about betraying, and they did a really good job with it. At the very beginning I wasn't quite sold with it, but once I got like about halfway through, I was like, okay, I like this movie.
Awesome. John, what say you, sir?
Well, let me just after the movie ended, I googled the director, and I had seen another movie by him called Valhalla Rising. And it might be the worst movie that I've ever seen. It was sort of similar to this one, where it was very quiet, not a whole lot of characters did a lot of talking, got violent in certain points, but like the movie just didn't make any sense, and it was just like very weird, and clearly some kind of like Norwegian, European type feel to the movie.
Yeah. Nicholas Winding Refn is his
right.
His from Copenhagen. So yeah, definitely that like, what is happening?
Right. So I was surprised that the guy who did that movie could also do this movie, which I really enjoyed. You know, I watched it with my wife, and she was less than thrilled about the pacing of the movie and the lack of
driving,
kind of anything going on. But that's sort of the type of movie where I could get, you know, sucked in and just, you know, okay, I'm in it. I don't know what it is about this movie, but it's mesmerizing, and I want to watch the whole thing. And then I get done with it, and I'm like, wow, that was really good.
Yeah.
And just the fact that, you know, I don't think that I had ever seen a Ryan Gosling movie besides one that came out last year before, Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, this guy's like a pretty boy actor, and they kind of made fun of that in the last movie I saw him in. But like, you know, you're an actor and you play different parts. I get that, but I don't know. I guess I never gave him credit for being anything other than The Notebook.
Mm-hmm.
So surprising to see a young actor like that do something that's sort of heavy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, I don't think that, you know, I just haven't seen anything like that in a really long time, and it was really good, and I think it was underappreciated by a lot of people. So, you know, if you've got a couple hours to kill and you don't mind a slow-paced movie to begin with, I would definitely watch it.
Yeah. I think, yeah, definitely. I agree with what both of you are saying. It's just like this movie was, you know, because it was so like interesting. I mean, it was slow. It was slowly paced. I wouldn't say that it was.
They were building to something. They were giving you a reason to care about what he was going to care about.
Right, exactly.
You know, midway into it. So.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting because you were like, where are they going to go with this guy? What's happening? What's he doing exactly? And then it got to that point where that one guy he saw in the diner, you know, just starts trying to talking to him, and then he just pretty much tells him to shut up, and then he threatens him to the point where he would just like, he's like, if you don't shut up, I'm going to murder you. Is basically what he says. And then you could just feel the movie just immediately like turn, and you're just like, oh.
It was that twist.
Yeah.
It turned, and you're like going, oh crap.
Yeah, you're
he's
like,
in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, it was like, you know, in the beginning they show him doing a job where he's, picking somebody up, how like making sure they're doing their thing and this and that. And it's like, okay, he's just a guy. He's a quote unquote professional who's just really good at what he does. But like, if it was just that, you're like, okay, I don't care about this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But since they kind of went in depth of like, who he is, and you see him doing stunt stuff on movies, and you see his relationship with the guy from Malcolm in the Middle.
The guy from Malcolm in the Middle. I thought you were talking about Carey Mulligan, but okay, the guy from Malcolm in the Middle. What?
Yeah, the father from Malcolm in the Middle. Malcolm in the Middle. What the hell's his name?
I don't know.
Brian something.
Who are you talking about? The guy who plays Sal?
Yeah, the dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know his name.
Have you never seen Malcolm in the Middle?
That wasn't the guy from Malcolm in the Middle, was it?
That's his father.
No kidding. I didn't know it was him.
The guy from Breaking Bad, if that suits your...
Yeah, but I didn't know that was... I didn't even know that was... No, I didn't. I actually didn't recognize him.
But
Oh,
before...
no, that is him. Yeah, I just looked it up. It's Brian.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him. I truthfully did not recognize that he was Shannon. So.
Anyway, before he gets involved with Carey Mulligan, who is the girl, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Irene. Yeah.
Before he gets involved with her, you see like this relationship that he has, and he's not like a weirdo guy. He obviously gets along with people, so him getting involved with Carey Mulligan didn't come like as a shock. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where a lot of times it's like, there's a guy who's a loner, he never talks to anyone, but all of a sudden he sees a pretty girl and it's like, oh, now I'm going to change who I am and get myself in all kinds of trouble.
Yeah.
But like you see that he's a personable person, he can have a conversation with someone. So it wasn't that much of a twist to be like, okay, I could see why is he getting involved with this woman?
Right.
So.
Yeah. I actually, oddly enough, this was in my, my high school phase where I would just watch TV shows after school, the really stupid shows. But I actually saw Ryan Gosling in Breaker High, which is some television show from the 90s, I believe. Let me see really quickly. Yeah, it's from the 97. So it was on like UPN. John, UPN 57.
Okay.
This was before the WB and the UPN merged to become CW. But I watched that, and there was another show that he was on. So, and then I watched a lot of he did a lot of independent films before he, in between The Notebook and this, he did a lot of independent films like United States of Leland, which was a pretty good film. So I've been actually watching this guy for a while, and just to see that he finally came back and got the recognition is pretty cool. But I love the music. I thought the music fit really well.
Yeah,
I thought
it did.
I was kind of weird at first, like when
I downloaded the soundtrack.
Oh, did you? Oh,
it's
you like
good.
it? Yeah, it's. I remember I listened to some samples of it and it was pretty good. So, I think right after that chase scene where it comes with the credits, the opening credits and everything, I was pretty much immediately. I was already hooked since the chase scene, but then once it hit there, I was like, oh. All right, this movie's going to be good. And the movie definitely takes some crazy, weird turns, but it was definitely a very good film. So, yeah, if you have a couple hours, definitely pop it in.
Oh, not even that long. I mean, it is like, 90 minutes long? It's not as long as...
Yeah, it's not 2 hours, yeah.
That's right.
If
Surprisingly,
you get 2 hours, you
very
got
short
plenty
film.
of time to get through this and just go, wow.
Yeah, and then you sit back and think about it.
Popcorn, sit down. All of that will take 2 hours, and you'll be done, and it'll be a good movie, and you'll be very well entertained.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, what?
I'm looking at the cast from Breaker High.
Yeah.
The one guy is Sock.
Yeah, Sock. Yeah, this show on the CW early 2000s, I think, called Reaper.
No, it was like 2007. I was living in South Philly.
Was it that? Oh wow, I thought it was a lot longer than that. Oh man, I did lose track of time.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, that name looks familiar. I have no idea who it was. Tyler Labine, Sock.
Yeah, Sock. He was also that's a pretty good show. It only lasted 2 seasons, I think, but it was a good show. Definitely. All right. So that's the Breaker High. It was a Canadian show, if you didn't know. But but it was on UPN for like 2 seasons. Oh, oh, great! I shouldn't have said anything about that. So,
nope.
Okay, so that is. I think we're gonna wrap it up there. That is a very good place to end the show. Now that we're all back, Aimee's back, Sean is still here, I'm still here. Craziness has ended. The life will no longer intervene with the show. No more life, guys. Just quit life and just do the show specifically. That's it.
Quit life? No, I don't think that's a good motto.
Not quit life. I mean, quit doing, normal life stuff. I didn't mean quit life in that. All right, we're just going to stop because I'm going to keep saying some terrible
things. You're just digging it deeper and deeper.
Digging it deeper and deeper. But okay, so have a good, for John, Denny, Aimee Morgan, me, I'm Peter Van. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
There goes the outro, right?
Okay.
You've been listening to ScreenView.
I used to watch Ghost Rider.
ScreenView is a radio-free Cybertron production.
It didn't make any
sense. Visit us at tfradio.net for show notes and to subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at tfradio for news and updates. Watch our live stream at tfradio.net/live.
How could a ghost?
Join our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/tfradio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, TF Radio Network. Have a question or comment? Leave it on our Facebook fan page or mail it to contact@tfradio.net.
And this ghost was like
copyright 2011 Radio Free Cybertron.
Which doesn't make sense.